start this over. Good morning, everybody. Happy Sunday. He's in a hurry. Goddamn fib. So it's a little later than I'd hoped to get out. It's about 9 o'clock. So I think I'm going to start today by running over to get some chow. I'm going to get gas in this thing too, because we're a little bit, above a quarter tank right now. So we'll do that at some point. Gas in this area has been kind of all over the place the last couple of weeks because, well, we've got a pretty major refinery in the area that had some issues with flooding when we had a bunch of rain come through about 2 weeks ago. So they were basically offline for about 3 or 4 days. So gas kind of went up about 40 cents a gallon and then started working its way back down. Then all of a sudden there was an announcement that the state EPA or whatever found some issues, and and then all of a sudden gas started spiking again back to where it was, before. So it's up about between about $3.30 and $3.50 a gallon, depending on where you're at. Whereas about a week ago, it was starting to work its way back down, and it just cracked at $3 a gallon mark, and now it started going back up. So I don't know what's going on with BP and their Whiting oil refinery, but that's kind of what's going on here. So just finished doing all my accounting for what I spent at Sturgis, at least on the credit card. It was a tick under $1,300, I want to say $1,325, maybe about $1,325. That includes basically all my gas, the diesel for the truck getting way back up there, and then also the $70 for the 2 nights I stayed at the casino on the way out to Sturgis. The way back, I just boondocked in a Walmart parking lot because, why not? Which, by the way, next year is the way I think I'm going to go. So I will go ahead and add about an extra $1,500 to the credit card payment this month to deal with that. And so that's where that is. That included an extra, $125 having to buy a bike cover because, I'm an idiot. And then new levers because, you gotta get something new while you're out there for the bike. Look out, a little wide. A little bit wide. So that's what I spent there. I don't think I really bought anything at the Rally Days 55 at all. So, did some looking, but didn't really find anything I like. I do like these Arlen Nass levers. They look good. They feel good. I wasn't spending the extra $100 or whatever for the adjustable ones. I just don't see the point. I mean, if you had a little hands, maybe, but I got decent sized, digits and stuff. But the Chip put their passes on sale for $26 already. They did that on Wednesday, I think. And pricing it out, I was at I want to say $13.50 for a 40-foot back inside in the South 40. The 2-week standard pass, because, let's face it, I don't really see the reason. I mean, unless you're the kind of guy that wants to be in the middle because, you only got to be state center. I don't care. You go to see the concerts, I don't think it's worth an extra, I think it was like an extra $125. Maybe it was right at, I want to say the 2-week pass with the pre-sale was like $325 or something like that. I might be wrong. And then I priced it out with 3 pump outs. Remember the Chip doesn't have, at least in most of the sites, the Chip doesn't have full hookup. So you got to deal with the either you got to walk your own shit wagon to the dump station. Then there's probably 4 or 5 throughout the campground, or you're dealing with the pump out truck. that's probably what I'll do. Is you put what they do is when you pre-buy them, they end up being, I think one was like 90 bucks, two was like 130, three was like 160, and I think it was like 185 for four. So the more you buy, the bigger discount you get. I mean, I guess in theory you could probably go ahead and, because they give you, at least they used to, they give you like the little flags, like the utility locators use, and you just put it in front of your rig when you want to have them pump it, and they come out and hook up and pump it out while you're out doing, you know, whatever. And if they miss you, go to the sanitation trailer, and then they take care of all that. And, you know, it happens. It happens. Now, I don't know if you can kind of, if one guy could buy the 4-pack, and then if you could kind of split it where you split it with a guy and you go 2 and 2. I don't know if that'll work, but, you know, whatever. Normally the guys riding, I'm thinking it probably would, because normally the guys work and just look for the flags. So I'll probably just buy the 3. We'll get pumped out. Probably. My plan is for next year to leave out of here Sunday. So yeah, it ended up being like, I want to say, let's get back to that. It ended up being like $1,360 all in or something like that. Tax, fees, everything else. One thing I do like that Tixer is doing this year is on the prices, they're putting it all fees included. They don't put the tax on there, but they add the service fees and convenience fees and stuff, so you know what it is. There's none of this, oh, by the way, there's a 10% on top of it. When you see it, you know, it says, oh, admission passes, you know, starting at, you know, for the whole length of the rally. Admissions passes starting at, let's just say it's $199 for the 7-day pass. I can't remember what it is. I might put it up here, what the exact number was, but so yeah, they got that going on. And then on top of it, they go and charge you an extra 10%. So what you thought would be $200 plus whatever the sales tax is, and you know, let's face it, the government's got to get theirs. I don't even know who the governor of South Dakota is anymore now that Kristi Noem is now DHS secretary, but whatever, it's fine. By the way, what y'all think about us having a Department of War again? Yeah. I think they should have just changed it to Department of Offense, but, you know, whatever. Make Haig sick the offensive coordinator? Why not? Instead of Secretary of Defense or Secretary, yeah, whatever. I don't care. Whatever. That's enough politics. But getting back to the chip, you know, they used to do it that way, where they just put the lower price, kind of bait and switch, and then all of a sudden you see a 10%, you know, service fee, and then you know, the 7% or 8% sales tax, whatever it is. So what you thought was going to end up costing you like $2.25, by the time you're said and done, it's going to cost you about $260, $250, $260. And the reason I say $2.25 is because you know you've got sales tax on top of that. You know, 7-8%, probably about the norm. So yeah, but they're not doing that. The advertised price includes all fees. They don't include tax, but they do include the fees, which, I mean, I guess that's okay. I guess that's better than trying to hide it, but whatever. I mean, they could add the extra 7% tax on it, not to be too difficult, but whatever. I mean, it's code. You know, give you the all-in price. But one thing I do want to talk that the chip's doing for this year, that I hope this is recorded, that they didn't do last year, is they're offering a payment plan now. So I think for a minimum of $100 down, and it kind of depends on how much you're buying. I think it's like a 15 or 20%, you know, initial down payment with a minimum of $100, where they will let you basically, you know, spread it out. Where I think for mine it was like an initial payment of like $240, And like I said, my guess is that's probably the down payment, or that's probably like a 10% down payment plus all the tax. And then it's like $130 a month on top of that until June. I thought it was 10 monthly payments or something. Maybe it was 9 monthly payments. Maybe it was 9. Whatever, doesn't matter. And there's only a $10 fee for that. So it's like, I might do that. And the other nice thing is if you cancel, the only thing you lose is what you paid so far. So let's say, if Christmas comes in and you get downsized, or something happens where you're not going to be able to afford it, you're out, let's just say $600 instead of being out the whole number. And now you're trying to figure out, well, what can you do? Can you sublet it? Can you do this, that, or the other? I don't know. Yikes. That was a good one. It's still locked. It still wiggles a little bit, but it's still not coming undone, which is good. Now if I hit that again, who knows, but yeah. So yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. I'll probably go ahead and, once I get my vacation approved here, which should be the tail end of next week, because my anniversary is the 15th, and so that's what, Monday? Sunday? Monday? I think it's Monday. I think it's a week from tomorrow. So I'll go ahead and put in for it then. When my vacation resets, my fleet manager's normally pretty good at getting that stuff approved. And so then I'll go ahead and do that and plan on, and I'm going to take a full 2 weeks off, and then I'll go ahead and I'll leave out of here that Sunday before, like Sunday, August the 2nd, I think. I missed, and get up, probably go all the way to Mitchell, which is like 700 miles, I think. And just go ahead and run as hard as I can that first day. Make it to Mitchell, leave out here probably around 2 o'clock in the morning. And the only reason I say Mitchell, I would love to go further if I could. It's just, when it comes to dealing with the, what was I going to say? Oh, squirrel. Oh, yeah. Looking for somewhere to stop for the night. Once you get past Mitchell, you're kind of slim picking short of actual campgrounds. Mitchell is your last Walmart, I think, before you get to Rapid, unless you want to go up to Pier. And if you want to go, if there's a reason for you to go through Pier, yeah, I mean, great. But for me, I can't really think of a reason why I would do that. So it's like, and the nice thing around most Walmarts, there's services available. There's restaurants, there's stuff. And in addition, you can buy stuff at the Walmart. So more than likely what I'll do is I'll get to the Walmart in Mitchell, go in, anything that I forgot to get at La Crosse, go ahead and grab there. Because, that always happens where you forget stuff. You get to, you'll set up, level out, turn the air conditioner on. I'll normally know right away, like, oh, I forgot, like this happened a lot. Oh, I forgot Pam, I forgot butter, I forgot whatever. Popcorn Festival was yesterday. My niece actually, I think for the first time, actually ran their what they call a popcorn panic, which is like a I think the full length race is a 5K. I think. I might be wrong, but I think that's what it is. Yeah, my fuel light just came on. But so that's kind of what's going on with way too early Sturgis 2026 ideas. I think other campgrounds, I think the Throttle, you know, the Pappy Hoyle campground, I think they've started putting their stuff on sale for next year, and they're about the same price as the Chip. Now, Mike, whatever the hell his name is that owns it, I can never remember what the hell his last name is. I can never remember, but you know, he's still putting up. They're doing a lot of work now that the rally's over. But it's the Class A chassis. But yeah, so that's kind of what's going on with Sturgis. Oh yeah, the Hoyles put their stuff on sale. I think the Steel Pony's putting their stuff on sale. The general public on what? I think they're going on sale like the 15th or so. Which, by the way, the Chip going on sale this early. This is early for them. Normally they go on sale like middle to end of September. So, I don't know. I would assume this initial pricing is going to last for about 2 to 3 weeks. Probably the way they're saying it is they got a band announcement coming soon. My guess is their first band announcement will be the first Thursday in October. And at that point, they'll start raising their prices just a little bit. Like, let's say the 2-week pass, like the RV sites probably aren't going to change very much. I mean, let's say the site in the South 40 was like 7 1/4. It might have been more, might have been less. I can't remember. But let's say it was like 7 1/4. I could be right, it could be wrong, could have been more. I'll put it in there what it was actually, but you know, it doesn't matter for this. Yeah, it might go up to say 775, 800, but it won't go much higher than that. The admission passes is what they shoot up with. Like right now, let's say the 2-week pass is 3 1/4. Well, that might shoot up to like 400. I think last year I paid right about 400 for the 2-week pass. But I think I bought it like just before Thanksgiving. But yeah, so that's kind of what's going on there. Yeah, it's Popcorn Weekend this weekend, and then next weekend is Blueberry Festival out in Plymouth. It's like, yeah, we got all sorts of festivals this time of year. I think Wanatah does something too. I can't remember around this time of year. But that's pretty much everything I wanted to talk about with Sturgis. I'll pick this up in a little bit, but y'all be safe. Keep that shiny side up. Keep that greasy side down. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. If I suck, drop it in the comments. Tell me I'm an asshole. I don't care. Alright, see y'all later. Deuces.